don't believe in yourself, this is for all my peeparoos that have been doing lots of mindset work, and you have no idea why you've done all the work, and you listen to podcasts, you read books, self-help books, you've gone to seminars, and you've done all kinds of things to to change your mindset, change your life, and while it seems to work for a while, then it just stops working. So what is that? What is happening? We're going to talk about the missing piece that really not a whole lot of people talk about. They talk about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit different, and I'm going to teach you how to rewire the root of that so that you will start believing in yourself, and you'll understand why you believe in yourself. And the puppies are joining us this morning. We have Flying Feather and Happy Beans. So you're not stuck in your life because you're broken or there's something wrong with you. Absolutely not. You're just feeling stuck because of your identity and the identity that you've been programmed with. So, and you're living from this identity. So let's start by saying this. You were born with unlimited promise and potential, and then you got programmed by well-meaning folks, right? What, maybe your parents, teachers, spiritual or religious leaders, and your teachers. And the thing is, you can change all of this. So this is what's really exciting. My name is Lynnie Wennerstrom, and I am a certified self-talk trainer and a certified life coach. So let's talk about this identity and your self-talk, because what I have said before is the foundation of self-talk, and I'm talking about the self-talk that that Dr. Shad Helmstetter has created, the program, and then also the self-talk that I have created, which is and this is repetition that you when you talk to yourself. So and how to play that in your brain so that you can rewire your brain and your identity and your self-talk so that you have high self-esteem or healthy self-esteem and a beautiful identity. So I've said that the foundation of self-talk is self-esteem. Let's look at that, because that's not the real root. Let's talk about the chicken or the egg here. And so what comes first? What comes first? And thank you for joining me. Good morning. What comes first is neither one, because I'm going to share a sacred foundational truth with you right now that people don't usually see very clearly. And it's not your self-esteem that's foundational, not at all. It's the subconscious programming. So I'm using my notes here because I want to get it all correctly. All right. So self-esteem isn't the root. It isn't the root of why you don't believe in yourself, even though you've done so many things, all the podcasts, read the books, gone to the Tony Robbins and all the various. Oh, my cat, Charlie, come on, Charlie. My cat just went outside. I have to open the door. So I'm going to take you with me through the house, and we're going to be talking about this. But I really do have to get my cat, because my cat is outside, and there are lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, here. So let's run through that. But again, identity. We're talking about. Oh, it looks like it still is. So I think we're still live. So let's bring the cat in. Here, I'll show you the cat. The dogs came running up. And Ben, come on, Feather, quédate. Come on, Happy, Charlie, Feather, en la casa, en la casa. Okay, so there are the mountains, and apologies for all of this. I had no idea that was going to happen, but you know what? That's when you do lives, and I love lives. I have been recording videos for a really long time, and I really love doing lives. I've always loved with real people. So my real peeparoos. So let's get back to this and talk about why you've done all the work and you still don't believe in yourself and you still feel like something's wrong and all of that, because the foundation of it truly is your programming. So, and I know I would assume that you've heard about programming before. So let's talk about the chain so that you understand. So there's programming, then comes your identity, then comes your self-esteem, then comes your thoughts. So you're thinking, your thoughts are things because they create feelings and emotions, and those create behaviors and actions. So I'm describing a chain here, and that gets you your output or your results. So that's what we're talking about here. And it's a sequence that a lot of people really don't understand. If you understand that the programming, see your brain as a computer, and that's the hardware, the brain, and the programming is a software. And if you understand that concept, you'll understand that the input, if you understand anything about computers, which most of us do, you understand that it's a series of commands, and those commands create when you type in certain things or whatever it is, like if this then that and that kind of stuff. That is the input, right, into the computer, the programming. The output is whatever is comes out of that. So that's why if you see your brain as a computer, you're going to understand that it's not your self-esteem, it's not it's not your identity, it's your programming that creates both of those. And I'm just going to really quickly go over that chain again. But the programming creates your identity, creates your self-esteem, creates your thoughts, which then are your feelings and your emotions about things, your attitude, then your feelings, then your emotions, and then out comes your behavior, your actions that you take, and then your results or your output. And how empowering is that? Because then you understand that if what you input into your computer, into your brain, you are the one in control. Right now, you're running on outdated programs that if you are having problems, if what we talked about, if you still don't believe in yourself and you've done all these things and you're still wondering why, you have more wisdom and you feel stronger and you've grown and you have more tools, yet you come right back to what's wrong with me? Why haven't I made the progress that I want to make? And then there's comparitis, comparing yourself to others. Why can they do it and I can't? And we all come through that because we are. If you are in a first world country, right, the United States or Canada or UK or any of that, then we are in the same culture, the culture of where we're all learning that there's competition rather than collaboration and working together. And so we're not taught that the foundation of who and what we really are is besides the spiritual. We can go deep into that, but we're just talking about science and the brain and the human as we are today, and how powerful this is in changing our lives and our program. So again, your programming comes first, and you're not building self-esteem. It's not about your self-esteem. It is really about reclaiming the right identity that you choose for yourself through rewiring the program that built the wrong one. And from well-meaning peeparoos, your parents, your teachers, spiritual leaders, and all of that, but guess what? They were programmed by people who were programmed by people who were programmed. So well-meaning, but still programmed. So that is what we're dealing with, is why you don't believe in yourself, why you haven't made progress. And this self-talk, the reason that I come on here all the time, and it was day after day until February, until I went into a program, because I really wanted to reach a lot more people with this message, because it's so empowering and it's so powerful that if that when you understand, and most of us do understand about programming, but if you understood the secret of it, that is not a secret, that it's your programming and you can change that programming, then all the shame, all the anger, the frustration, all of these low frequency emotions dissolve. They go away. And they go away because you're empowered. All of a sudden you realize, oh, these are from my programs that are running. And if I change those programs, I change my output. Remember that whole sequence that we just talked about. So it truly is an illusion. Let me just talk about identity really quickly. I wrote a few things out just to share with you. But identity is the internal definition you believe about who you are. That's who you believe what you are. Self-esteem is how you see yourself and how you would describe yourself. And the identity is how you describe yourself. The self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. So your identity, it's not your name. It's not that you're a mother, or it's not your job. It's not your personality. It's not the roles that you play. It's the invisible frequency that you carry, the story you're telling yourself about you, consciously or unconsciously. And by the way, your subconscious, no matter what you're telling yourself, that is true. Like that is that is what's going to the output. Because remember, your brain, especially the subconscious, 95% of your subconscious, you don't even know what those programs are. None of us know what those programs are. But they come out there, what is running us. This is why you want to change your programs. You want to input the programs that you want of a healthy self-esteem, of taking control of your life, of creating winning relationships, of creating wealth in your life, having financial success. Like, those are the things that you want to create for yourself. So the identity is the lens which you interpret the world and your place in it. And your identity shifts. Your identity shifts as you expand, as you contract, or as you expand, however it is you're going. So your identity is who you think you are. Your brain is wired to prove that story true. So again, I'm repeating a lot of things, and there's a very good reason for it. We're talking about neuroplasticity here, the science of the brain. And so neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to rewire itself. And without getting very technical as about the brain and the various areas of the brain that do all of this, understand that when you understand neuroplasticity, you are the one that you understand how very powerful you really are, and that you can change your programming. So think about, identity is very powerful. And the reason it's powerful is because it's the root. It's the root of all your thoughts, your habits, and your behaviors and your outcomes, like we talked about. But there's a root beneath the root of your identity, and that's your programming. And identity is programmable, as we talked about, like a radio tunes into a radio station, or as it used to tune into a radio station. But it tunes into your vibration, and just like any program, it can be rewritten. All of that can be rewritten. So I want for you an identity upgrade. And the way you are going to do that is through rewriting your programs. And so this is how you're going to believe in yourself. This is how things are going to stick in your life, and how it's going to make the difference in who you become, and understanding how very powerful that is. So identity is who you believe you are. It's what your brain works to match every time. So that's where we are. And it's really not about, if you change your subconscious programming to install a new identity, then your confidence and your self-esteem and all of those things that people are always saying, like, you know, boost your self-esteem so that you have more confidence. It's really, what really works is changing your subconscious programming to install that new identity, which we talked about just a bit ago. So confidence, self-esteem, both of those, everything is going to rise to match that identity that you create, and that is through your programming. So what I'm teaching you is, it's not about loving yourself more. Loving yourself is awesome, but it's about deciding who you are, and about rewiring your brain to match that decision of who you are. Because when your programming changes, your identity expands. And we talked about expansion and contraction. And when it expands, your self-esteem rewires, a wasp just came, rises to reflect that truth. So that's what we're talking about. You weren't born with low self-esteem. You were programmed to believe that you weren't enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, you don't have enough. All of those not enoughs, all the focus on what you don't have or what you can't do or any of those things, that's your self-talk, that's programming. But identity is programmable through changing your programs. And when you choose a new identity, again, your self-esteem rises to meet it. So It's not a healthy self-esteem. It's the knowledge that the identity you have and the identity you want, that's up to you. So this is the foundational key to human transformation. And it might sound a little bit boring, but I don't think it is. I think it's super empowering. And that's why I came on here and wanted to do this live, because I think that when you understand and decide to consciously choose who you are, your self-esteem, not only does it rise naturally, but your confidence and every other emotion, every other high frequency emotion rises to meet that. And that is empowering. And this is why I went into, I moved from a spiritual guide and mentor, and I'm still that, still very, very mucho that. But what I really believe is that on planet Earth, our self-talk, are rewiring their brain. When I really got it, because I've been studying neuroplasticity for a lot of years, but I did not know how to rewire my brain. I did not know how to change to believe in myself, to trust myself, to all of those things. I didn't know the key to do that. So I want you to know that identity is a soul crafted decision, and that you make that decision over and over again. You decide what your identity is going to be. And if you have the awareness to say, I'm going to change my identity, and I know now that in order to change my identity so that I have a healthy self-esteem, I get to choose my identity. I'm not born with this identity, that you were born with unlimited promise and potential. And you tell yourself, I was born with unlimited promise and potential. So how do I tap into that? And that is your programming. That is neuroplasticity. That is science. That is proven. That is those 146,000 or more thoughts that you have every single day. Those thoughts, you will be directing them. You are the director of your own life, and you will direct those thoughts. You will change the subconscious programming, that 95%. You will start changing that subconscious programming, so that will change what is happening in your life. So let's see what else I have here. Basically, I'm teaching you identity redesign, and sharing with you the how to do it. And the how to do it, a good place for you to start is to go in the description. I will put it in the description after this live video, and it is a quiz that I created with 8 different types, self-talk styles. And where you really want to get to is the rewirer, which is a dolphin. But all these other ones, like the optimist and the critic and all of those, you get to see where you're at right now, and then you get to change it. And the how is through repetition of the right programs, which is explained when you get the whole sheet of the when you get your PDF results of your self-talk style. So that is in the description. So I hope that you'll get that, and I appreciate you so incredibly mucho. We are going to talk, I'm going to start talking about I'm going to do lives. I don't know how often I'm going to do lives, but I want to talk about, in sales, people are always talking about objections and how to overcome objections. And even like on YouTube videos, it's like you need to overcome objections right away and all of that. Well, when you understand what objections are programs. They're a person's programming. I'm going to have a little drink of my lemon water with fulvic and humic acid in it, and we'll talk about why those objections, so that you understand why you have the objection in the first place. And some of those objections that we'll talk about is like, oh, nothing's ever worked before, so why should I keep trying? Things like that, or I don't have time. How often, and this is probably a given that I can just say, you say, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. There's no way. And that's an objection, and there's something behind it. And yes, it's overwhelmed, but there's more to it. And how about I'm too old, it's too late for me, that kind of stuff. So that door closed long ago. How often have you heard that or said that or any of that? These are objections, and I don't trust myself to follow through. I'd never follow through. I don't have the willpower. my hubby used to say, he used to say, he always said, I don't know, on every single thing. He would say, I don't know, almost everything. He got into this place where he was saying, I don't know. And he literally rewired his brain to where he didn't know a lot of things. Like he didn't have the confidence to know that he knew before. So it's really interesting. So we'll talk about that on another video, another live, or I'll just do a video on that for you. But let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. I love you so very, very mucho. You are awesome and amazing. You were born with unlimited promise and potential, and that promise and potential is still there. I believe in you. I know you can do it. You absolutely can. You can do, be, change, have, create, become absolutely anything. You really can. You are that unlimited. I love you so, so mucho. And we'll see you on the next live or the next video. Have a beautiful day. Chat soon. Let me see how I can turn this off because I haven't ever done a live on this before. So we'll have to play here for a minute. And that's it.